Hey y'all, welcome to or back to the channel, and if you are new here, thanks for joining. My name is Misty and I am so glad to have you all here for the episode of Globetrotter Challenge. If you aren't part of the Raven family but want to be part of the Raven family, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can join in on the Raven family fun. Today we are trying to get Piper here to help clear out the spores in Strangerville. As we know, she is working really hard on trying to build this hazmat suit, and she has to grind, baby grind. So we are just going to let her get a little bit of rest here while Roman goes ahead and gets himself a workout in. But he is also going to go ahead and take care of the family a little bit. So we're going to get him cooking up a little bit of food here. So I'm just going to have him go ahead and make a family-sized meal. And that way when Piper gets up, she doesn't have to worry about cooking. She can just tend to herself and her own needs, and then she can get working straight away on trying to collect some money for the family and collecting those spores. We have to collect 15 spores in order for us to get that spore filter from a scientist. And then once we get the spore filter, I think we can then collect some things from the analyst machine in the science lab, and then we should be able to get that spore filter. So we have a lot of things that we have to do for us to get that hazmat suit fixed in order for us to move forward with her story here. We have a lot of grinding, and Piper is, well, as we know, she's kind of been slacking off. And, well, I guess I can't say that I blame her so much. She did get herself infected. I don't know what that's going to look like, but we will just have to keep an eye on her and see how that affects her, and see if there's any negative consequences or if something happens to Roman as well. But he's just going to go ahead and take care of a little bit of his needs as well. Piper is up and off. She's going to go ahead and dig some things in the area. There are a couple of dig sites here in the vicinity that she can take care of, and once again she's just sauntering off without a care in the world. As we know, Piper doesn't do anything with a quickness. She doesn't get in a rush about anything. She really doesn't have a care in the world. She's not really all that much worried about the spores in the area. She's not worried about the infected persons in the area. She's just like nonchalantly carrying on about her business, just like la-ti-da. Things in this world may be a little strange, they may be a little off, but you know, I can't so much be bothered. So I don't know if that has to do with the fact that she's just Piper, or with the fact that she did get infected by the mother, and so she's just not so much all that worried about it. But either way, Piper is Piper, and she just doesn't seem worried. She is just going on about her business as slowly as she can. Piper, what do you like? I don't even know. I just don't even know. So let's go ahead and we're going to get her to scan the area and see if we can find some spores. Hopefully we will be able to find some things out here so that we can collect some. She really doesn't have that many. I think she only has like 4 spores currently that out of the 15 that she needs to find. And it does look like we have found herself another one here. So we will go ahead. Oh, she has 3. So that would make 4. So we will go ahead and put that in our inventory. And that will give us 4 out of the 15. And it does look like she has some fossils that we can extract here. And that will give us a little bit of money. I don't actually know if we're going to need money. And so I am still trying to make them as much money as I can, just in case we are going to need any more money that is going to sneak up on us. I don't know if that spore filter is going to cost us anything or not. So I am trying to get them making money in any way that they can. So she has desperately got to go to the washroom. So we're going to get her heading back to the house here so that she can go ahead and relieve her bladder, because she is in desperate need of a wee. As you can see, Roman is just tending to himself as he always does. He's just kind of like, I hate this area. I hate this dust. I hate these spores. I don't know why we've ended up here and why she says we have to stay here. As we know, Roman is not as much keen on the adventure as Piper is, and he doesn't know why they're staying in this area. You know, they did get lost on their way to Granite Falls, And unfortunately, she's made him stay in this area. But she's like, look, you know, it's an adventure, and I know that this wasn't necessarily our destination, but this is where our adventure took us, and now I have wreaked havoc on this area, so I have to fix the havoc that I caused. And he's like, why is that our responsibility? She's like, well, because look what I've done to the place. I can't just leave them here and what I've done. I have to fix what I broke. And he's like, you know, Piper, sometimes you can create a lot of trouble. And she's like, I didn't really mean to do that, but I do have to fix what I created, and I'm really sorry that this trip is not really what you expected, and I realize that, you know, we're still newly married, but I'm trying to make the most of it. But the problem is that they're really not spending all that much time together, and Roman is left on his own accord a lot of the time because Piper is having to do a lot of work in this area. She's having to go build suits and do science stuff, and he is just kind of left here to the plants and left here to do things on his own while these crazy people are walking around possessed. And he's like, I have no idea what's going on in this area, but I know that I don't like it, and I'm ready to get the hell out of Dodge. So she's like, I am working as fast as I can to try to get this fixed. Like, I really am. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I really am trying to figure out this mystery. And as soon as I figure it out, we will, you know, get it fixed and we'll get out of here. So she's scanning, trying to find some more of those spores, but unfortunately she was unsuccessful. I think I'm going to send her over to the lab. There are lots of those plants over in the lab, and I think that if we go over by the lab, she should be able to find a lot of spores. So let's go ahead and send Piper over by the lab and see if we can find some spores over there. Okay, we have arrived here at the lab, and now we are going to get Piper to go ahead and scan the area and see if we can find some spores around these plants. Hopefully there will be lots of spores for her to find and collect. That way we can meet that goal of finding 15 and collecting 15 spores. It's a very active area, so we should find lots. Oh yeah, we are going to find plenty around here. So we'll go ahead and pick up these spores that we find in this area, and once we do that, hopefully we'll have enough that we can go ahead and go into the lab and analyze these spores and see what happens then. So we are going to collect all of these. Oh, there's tons of them appearing. This is wonderful news. So Piper is just scanning all of these plants, scanning around the area here, and she is thinking to herself, I don't know what these bizarre plants are or what these spores are exactly, what this infection is that's going around, but I do know that I'm supposed to be finding these spores and I'm supposed to analyze them. So she's going to go ahead and collect them all like she was told to do, not knowing that she's putting this infection in, you know, her inventory, but she's collecting them all up, and as soon as we have enough, we are getting really close to having enough here. Once we have 15, we will go in and go downstairs to the analyzing machine, and we will analyze all 15 samples here and see if we can get what we need for the scientists so that they can give us the spore filter. So it looks like we need one more. Let's go ahead and go out here and see if we can get one more spore sample. She's feeling extremely energized. She's really confident. She's like, I am knocking this out. There's the one more that we need. So we'll go ahead and get her to collect this last one, and then she's going to go ahead and head herself downstairs into the lab. So let's go ahead and take a look here at this. It says we have collected 15 spores clusters. So let's go ahead and go in. I'm going to have her use this key card on this door here, and she can go downstairs in the secure area and use the chemical analyzer. We're going to analyze these clusters that she finally has in her possession. She's just taking her sweet time. She's so energized. She's like, I'm revitalized. I had a great shower this morning. She's feeling flirty underneath it all. I don't know why this is making her feel flirty, but Piper is a little bit of a strange one. We already knew that. So we're going to head her downstairs. Instantly, she's going to cough. Spores are everywhere. We know that she doesn't have the hazmat suit. We have to be extremely careful that we don't get into a dangerous situation. But we're going to avoid this toxic area. We're going to go over here into the lab section, and we're going to construct this outfit panel here and see if we can analyze what we need to analyze so that we can build whatever it is. So construct the profile data. That's what it says. So she's going to try to do that. Hopefully she'll be successful in doing this. She doesn't have any experience. She doesn't really know what she's doing. She is just winging it. She's like, I have no idea why they think I am the one that needs to be doing this. I have no scientific experience whatsoever. And they've got me down here messing with these very high-tech machines. And she's like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking for. She's reached logic level 2. Well, that's great news. I'm glad that she's finally getting a little bit of logic out of this, but she is furiously tapping away on this keyboard, but unfortunately she has no clue what she's doing. She's just guessing and winging it and hoping that it works out for the best. She's like, okay, I think I'm supposed to put this liquid in here and then put it on this. I am not really sure. It doesn't really come with much of an instruction tablet. There's not a manual here that I'm supposed to follow. But I'm going to put this in here and hopefully it will analyze it for me, and then I'm going to tell it to do this. So she is just working away, hoping that it's going to do the information and create the data that she needs to create whatever it is that the scientist needs in order for her to get the pieces. And it says that the work that she's done has paid off, and now she has what she needs to go ahead and get the spore filter. So we now have the profile infection data. Okay, that's great news. Now we can go ahead and give this to a scientist. So we're going to take her back to her campsite. We're going to let her go and have a rest. She is extremely exhausted. She's had a really long day of collecting, doing some logic and some analyzing. So I'm going to take her back to her campsite and let her get some rest. Okay, it is the next morning. Piper is up. She is needing a bunch of things for her needs. So I'm just going to let her go ahead and use the washroom, grab herself a shower, and get something to eat here. And then once all of her needs are good, we're going to go ahead and start looking for some scientists so that we can see about that spore filter. Now that we have the infection profile data in our inventory, she is going to go see if she can hunt down some scientists and see if they can give her the spore filter in exchange for the profile data. So she is super excited that she's going to be able to get that information, but she's also feeling a little bit gloomy today. She's like realizing that, yeah, she is one step closer to getting this mystery solved, but she's feeling really sad because she's not had any time to spend with Roman. And she's realizing that, you know, she's kind of missing her husband, and her time here in Strangerville has been nothing but grinding, and she's really feeling gloomy about that. But we're gonna go ahead and look for some scientists, try to go ahead and get some information about the spore filter. We desperately need to get a spore filter, and so we're going to start talking to some scientists here and see if we can gather some information. Hopefully we will be able to talk one of these scientists into giving us what we need, and she can go ahead and continue on with this mystery of Strangerville and getting this solved so that we can spend some time with our husband, because she is really sad and really missing her husband here. And as you can see, Roman is in a really flirty mood, wanting to spend time with his wife as well, but as he watches her walk away, he realizes this is one more day that he's going to spend alone. She is going over here, and she has realized that in order for her to get the spore filter off of a scientist, she has to have a pretty good relationship with them. So she's going to have to spend quite some time getting to know these scientists. She's going to have to talk with them. She's going to have to build a bit of a relationship with them in order for her to talk them into giving her anything. And it's really difficult to build friendships with scientists in this area because they're extremely busy and they don't have time to just hang out and talk. But she's going to try her hand at this gentleman here and see if she can keep him talking to her and keep him engaged in some friendly conversation so that she can get to know him a little bit. So she's just going to let him know, hi, my name's Piper. I'm new to the area. I am really interested in Strangerville and the spores. I have been working really hard at trying to figure out this mystery that you guys have going on. I had talked to a couple of the military people and they had told me about some, things that were going on. I've spoken with some scientists other than yourself, and I also have a hazmat suit that, unfortunately it's just not complete, but I had been going around collecting some spores, and, it just so happens that I was able to go into the lab and do a chemical analysis, but it just turns out that, unfortunately I need a spore filter, and it's really difficult to come across one of those, but I was just wondering if maybe you'd like to tell me how your day is going, because I would really like to get to know you, and I would really like to know, how do you like to spend your days out here in Strangerville, and would you like to maybe look at the clouds with me while we discuss some of your interest? And he's like, oh, I would love to do that. So they're going to lay down here. They're going to talk about Strangerville and how he spends his days, and he's just telling her how he came to Strangerville and how he is part of this mystery here and how he is wanting to help rid this town of the infection that's going on, but he's having trouble. And she is going to say to him, well, I also would like to do that, but unfortunately I need some parts, and I'm really missing a spore filter. I do have the infection profile data. If you would like to give me the spore filter, that would be really helpful, and we could really work together. And so she's going to ask him again, like, do you think that maybe you'd like to take this profile data from me and you could give me the spore filter for my hazmat suit, and then I could work with you as a teammate and we could help together to get rid of this infection? And he would be like, you know what, Piper, I think that is really great. You've done so much work, and, I realize that you're new to the area, but you know what, I'm going to analyze this data, and as soon as I get a chance, I will mail you what you need in the mail. She's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And she's just realized that he's mean. Okay, great. So he's a sinister sim, and we don't like that, but that's fine. So she's got to now wait for him to analyze the data that she has collected for him, and then she will get a spore filter in the mail. So we are now, unfortunately, stuck. We can't do anything else until we get that from him in the mail, and who knows how long that's going to take. So now she is stuck, and she can't do anything else for the Strangerville mystery until she gets that part in the mail. So she's like, well, I guess the only thing left to do then is to go ahead and head back to the campsite, and I can spend some time with Roman now. But then she sees this person here, and she's like, oh, well, maybe I can go ahead and try to talk to him and see how he's doing. Like, I haven't really, given some of the townspeople a chance out here. And so she's going to try to attempt to communicate with Ted here. But as you can see, Ted has been possessed, and he does not understand what she's saying. And she's like, oh my goodness, I unfortunately can't get through to him at all. So she's going to go ahead and walk away from him, clearly. But we're going to have her go ahead and spend a little time with Roman here. They are going to have just some time as a couple together. We want them to experience just a little bit of married life together and have some meals together, some conversation together, maybe even a little bit of woohoo time. They have not had any time together as a couple. She has been so busy trying to figure out this mystery that she's really neglected her husband. and they haven't really had any time to just be together. Honey, let me just go and dig up this one little site here. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. While you do that, I'm going to clean up our campsite. It is a bit of a mess. We have, you know, obviously not been tending to it very well, and there are things just lying around. So she's just going to go over here and dig up this dig site here so that they can have a little bit of extra money, and then she's going to go and she's going to give her husband a little bit of romance. They are going to give each other a little bit of love. She is really missing Roman. Roman is really missing her. So they are going to, you know, just give each other a little bit of love here. She's going to give him a heat of the moment kiss. He really enjoyed that. He pulls her in for another, and these two are in a seriously flirty mood. Look how flirty he is. He's like, I have missed you so much. I do not like being here in this town without you. I don't like not seeing you every day. I know that you are busy. I understand that you have things that you need to do in this area. I know that you feel very guilty for what you've done in this area and the mistakes that you've made. But honey, I'm here because you're here, and I want to be with you, and I feel so out of place and like I'm not needed, and you know, I need to be with you, and we're not together right now doing anything. And, you know, at least in Sulani, you know, yeah, we had thunderstorms and I was scared to death of all of that, but at least I felt, you know, needed, and I was able to help you. I don't feel like I'm helping you at all here. And she's like, honey, you're helping me just by being here and being, you know, morally supportive. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't feel like it. So these two are going to go ahead and they're going to have themselves a bit of a woohoo in the tent. They're going to rekindle some of that love and some of that passion. As we know, if you think about it, they are still technically, I guess, kind of newlyweds, I guess. I mean, they haven't been married that long. They just got married in Sulani, so they really haven't been married that long. I guess in some years they kind of have been, but they are having themselves a nice little woohoo here, and they are rekindling some of that love and spending some much needed quality time together. And it's really the only thing that Piper can do right now while she waits for the mail to arrive is, you know, just spend some time with her husband. And both of them have immensely enjoyed their time together, and they are feeling very energized. He is feeling very flirty. He's going to get himself cleaned up here, and she's going to go over here and just have a little bit of talking with her plants. And then once Roman is done with the shower, she is feeling quite grungy, so I will have her go ahead and get herself cleaned up as well, and she can get her hygiene up. And we don't really have anything else that we can do in the meantime until our mail comes. So I think after Piper finishes up her shower, what I'm going to do is spend some of the money that they have, since they don't need it for the spore filter, and I'm going to get them a real shower and a real toilet, and even a little bit of a fridge there that they can store their food in so that it doesn't spoil overnight and things like that. And we'll just get them a couple of items here for their campsite, and we will get that all squared away here. So let's go ahead and jump in to build mode and get them a couple of things here for their house while they are just kind of piddling around. So let's do that really quickly here. As you can see, these two have rekindled their relationship. They are just spending a little bit of time together conversing. She's just going to grab herself a glass of milk, actually. So she's just going to have a little bit of milk here, and they are having a little bit of a conversation. He's letting her know that he's so glad that she's spending the day with him and that she didn't have anywhere that she had to be other than with him. And she's like, well, you know, I'm just waiting on the mail to arrive. There's not a whole lot that I can do. I'm kind of at a standstill right now. And he's like, I don't really care what the reasoning is. I'm just glad you're here. It's so nice to actually see you here like all day long and you're not out running around like a busy little bee. And she's like, well, I'm glad that you enjoy seeing me, but I am gonna, I think, go ahead and go out and, you know, maybe go for a jog in a little bit. And he's like, yeah, that's completely fine, love. I understand that you want to go and do something. Oh my God. And there are vines crawling out of the toilet, and it has scared Piper to death. And she has gotten a scared buff from this. We're gonna go ahead and get her to clean this up, but it does say that she is scared from these. Let's go ahead and take a look and read that and see what that says. But look at her. She's just having to clean this up. The poor thing. Oh my God, that is disgusting. Tanophobia. What is going on here? These plants are out of control. Okay. Yeah, I would think so. So as you can see, she is feeling really energized. She's wanting to get some fitness in, so she's doing some sit-ups. I am going to actually, I think, go ahead and let her go out and get a jog soon. She is clearly wanting to get some, you know, exercise in. Let's go ahead and let them get some sleep for the night, and then in the morning she can get a jog in. Piper has woken up. It is about 3 o'clock in the morning. She is feeling a little bit hungry. She's just grabbing herself a little bit to eat. She's still feeling really energized. She woke up first thing this morning, had herself a shower, did some push-ups, and then is grabbing herself something to eat. She is wanting to go ahead and do some research on her plants. But I think since she's so energized, I am going to go ahead and let her have that morning jog that she didn't get last night. So we will go ahead and let her get some exercise in, and maybe it will help her with her energized mood. So we'll let her do that. After she finishes eating, she can go ahead and deal with her plants, but then I'm going to actually go and send her out for an energized jog. And Roman is going to go ahead and just use the washroom here, and then he can get himself something to eat as well. It looks like all of the leftovers have been done, so we'll just have him grill something really fast. He can make a family meal. That way there are things in the fridge for later for leftovers. So we'll just make him do something that he can do as a family size and get him cooking. Piper is doing a little bit of research, but we're gonna go ahead and let her head on off on her jog. I still don't understand why Piper goes ahead and does research on her own. She doesn't even actually like gardening, but I guess when it's all you can do in the area, that's what you do. So go ahead, Piper, and go on your jog and get that taken care of, and hopefully that will help with you being so energized, and it will let you get some of that energy out. And you can go ahead and grab yourself something to eat, Roman, because you are feeling quite peckish. So he's just going to get himself something to eat here, and as you can see, Piper is getting herself a lovely workout in. She is just really, really feeling it this morning. She has been energized ever since the two of them have rekindled their relationship. It really, really did wonders for her. It was really what she needed, and she has really had lots of energy ever since then. So we are loving that for her. That being said, guys, I think I am actually going to go ahead and leave this episode here. We have had a lot go on with Piper. She has done a lot of hard work in this episode. And in the next episode, hopefully we will have that spore filter so we can go ahead and repair that hazmat suit and we can move on with her story. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will catch you guys in the next one. But until then, I am going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.